We ain't solved no problem. Shit still going on. Niggas still dying. Parents still crying.
For the dime moves and the locs, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame.
All right, my name is Myron Tobin. I used to go by the name Doe Eye, neighborhood Rollin 60s Crips. And I grew up on 65th in Arlington, down the street from Tyrone, up the street from Tyrone, Joe Rat, Ace Rat, Ronnie Pace, Keystone lived around the corner. Um, then you had, there was a few individuals that lived over there, Alex, Mad Dog, Country, his brother. It was a gang of individuals that lived over there, but it was a gang of individuals that just migrated, lived all around the neighborhood on 76th and 8th Ave, just all around throughout the 60s. So I really grew up with all of them though. I went to 59th Elementary School. I went to Horseman, went to Crenshaw, LA, Dorsey, Washington. Got kicked out of all of them for this gang activity thing, you know, heavily involved with the gang activity. So you know how that go. Like I say, during that time when I was growing up, you know, like I say, I started kind of early, man. But you know, Rick them started way before me. They started, you know, before me. Him, Baby Hewitt, Babyface, Moncrief, all them. You know, they was like the big homies. I was just sitting and watching them, and while they was going doing their thing in the cars and with the pistols and shit. Me, Joe Rat, and Keystone, we had the little dirt bikes and the zip guns, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we was just learning from them. Rip, all of them, Quentin, QT, it was a gang of individuals over there. But like I say, back then it was more like, you know, it was more like a family atmosphere. You know, niggas wasn't tripping. I mean, you know what the gang banging mentality is. You know, it really ain't nothing life. So I mean, and everybody, you know, go through their tests. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, being a young nigga, when we growing up, old niggas test. You know, we going through the test. They trying to see where your heart at and everything else. So you know, it was like a growing stage. Them niggas was my big brothers or some shit like that. You know, just teaching me the ropes. So but it was all love though. It wasn't no hate up in there. It wasn't no shit about no money and nothing like that. It was about niggas just, you know, standing down and representing.
What junior high school did you attend?
I attended Horace Mann. I did the whole thing at Horace Mann, but I really, you know, stopped going to school at about the 8th grade. You know, when shit started really taking off, I stopped going to Horace. I went up to Horace Mann and, you know, hung out for a minute. Then I go up to the high school with the rest of the niggas, with the other big homies and shit, you know, chasing after them, seeing what they doing.
So what year was you in 8th grade?
Shit, that was something like, man, about 76, about 76.
Okay, so you knew a lot of the 8 gangsters?
Yeah, we grew up, yeah, I knew a few of them, man. I mean, we grew up with them, you know?
And then what was your relationship to Tyrone?
That was my partner, man. That was like my dog. We used to do a whole lot of shit together, man. Go breaking houses, steal shit, steal cars, steal bikes and shit, you know? It was my little grinding buddy, but it was my friend though, you know? So we did a lot of shit together, you know? I got introduced to Tyrone through his brother, through Big Rick though, you know? And I met, you know, then I met Tyrone. He was just a little nigga. He was a little bit younger than me, but that nigga, he was straight, you know? He was straight down with everything. He, you know, he no cut. So he was like my little brother.
Where was you at when the fight happened, or when you first heard about the fight between Fatty and Tyrone?
I think I was up at Crenshaw because he had told me, because they was getting into it, like, you know, maybe like I say, this shit has been going on for maybe a month or so, where they've been squabbling up at the school and all that back and forth. But to me, I mean, to all of us, it really wasn't that serious, you know, because niggas fight, even brothers fight. You know what I'm saying? So it really wasn't that serious. So, but he had told me the day before that they was going up to the Horace Mann. They was gonna meet up there, and they was going somewhere, and they was gonna get their squabble on or whatever. and I was supposed to meet him up there. But like I went up to Crenshaw with the other homies and was hanging out there and got caught up there, so I didn't get back till late. But by the time I got back, everybody had already, I bailed down the street to the house on Arlington, and that's when I found out that Tyrone had got shot. And we bailed around where he was supposed to got shot at and all that bullshit and saying, but I was up at Crenshaw. I was up at Crenshaw hanging out, doing the cripping things, fucking up.
So that was a big surprise to you when you found out that the homie had got killed?
Yeah, hell yeah, it was a big surprise. It was a shock, man. It's like at first I didn't believe it, you know what I'm saying? But as I got closer to the house and got on the block and seen all the people, hanging out by Big Rick house and coming over and shit like that, and I seen him drive up in his Chevy, he had that low, and he driving crazy, you know what I'm saying, hook slide all in the street, jumping out the car, then I knew it was real.
Did you know the guy, Daryl Oates?
I might have known him, but I don't remember his name. I don't remember names, so I really didn't remember too many niggas' real names.
All right. How about the guy, Monster Cody?
Yeah, I knew Monster Cody. I used to fuck with his brother Kerwin and everything, go to his house and all that shit.
I don't know. Did you ever read Monster's book?
Yeah, I read one of them. Yeah, I read it. Yeah, I read it.
Did he mention you in that book? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I don't think he did.
All right, what was you gonna say before I cut you off?
Nothing. It wasn't important, but probably yeah. I grew up with Monster and before it was Monster, when he was just Cody, I used to go over his house and fuck with his brother Kerwin. He'd be hanging out over there and shit. So I know him I knew him before he turned Monster, and then I knew him after he turned Monster.
Where did all the homies hang out at? Big Rick's house or Arlington or what?
Shit. They hung out at Joe Rat house in his garage. He had a little shack in his garage. Gator had a shack in back of his house. Shit like that. Keystone, we used to go over there and fuck with his, at his house. And Ronnie Pace, we go down there and fuck at his house. Cause we was into sports and shit too. We played basketball and all that shit. Rick had a basketball court in the back of his house, and we used to go down there and play basketball and hoops and shit. Then we used to go up to the schools and play that shit and football and all, in the streets. We'd be out there in the streets playing, football in the streets. It's supposed to be tag, but we knocking niggas in the cars and all that shit. But yeah, we had a few little spots like that. And then, like I say, we used to fuck with them Hoovers, some A-Tray Hoovers, and we used to go over in their hood and shit and hang out with some of them niggas. So, and they used to come over to Joe Rat house and hang out in the back and all that shit. So, we had a few little spots.
So the Hoovers and the gangsters used to come kick it in the hood?
Yeah, they used to come through there. It's like we used to function together. We used to go to parties, everything, all that shit. Because they was like the progenitors because they was before we was. You know what I'm saying? When we was trying to still figure out what we was gonna be, who we was gonna be. Them niggas was already doing their thing. So yeah, it was all love though. It was like it was cool. We used to hang out, fuck with them. Most of them A-Tray Hoovers though. A-Tray Hoovers, we always was close with the gangsters because we went to school with them. So it was cool. It was a cool ass relationship before this shit happened.
What year did you go to prison?
Shit, I went to prison. I got cracked in 1980. I went to prison in 1980. I got cracked Thanksgiving night, 1980.
How much time did you do?
I got 5 years for a robbery. I did some little funky ass robbery, man, and I got cracked for it. And they sentenced me to 5 years. So I took a deal for 5. So when I was going to prison, I went to prison. I checked into Tracy and all that. Got checked into Tracy. They called me back down for this murder case, and then they refiled the murder on me. I think that was in 81.
Thinking you coming home, and they end up putting a life sentence on you.
cause I knew they was coming because my pops, cause it was in the newspaper and shit that they was gonna refile again because they had some more evidence. They came up with some more evidence or something. So my pops had already informed me that I was gonna be charged with the murder and shit. So I was just up at Tracy. I was just waiting, wanting to come get me to see what's gonna happen. Yeah, but I ended up, I went in with 5 years and came back with a life sentence.
Can you tell me how you feel about the war? Was it worth 40 years of war?
I mean, looking back on it at that time, I was suffering from that gang mentality. You know what I'm saying? And I made myself into a monster. I had this image in my mind that I wanted to be, and this is a nigga that I want to be, and this is what a nigga do from 60s. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I'm representing. And at that time, I felt like it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? And then for a long time when I was in prison, I still felt the same way. Yeah, that it was worth it. But as time went on, and I got to seeing that the forces we was up against, like the police, the Mexicans, the white boys, and how the niggas I really didn't fuck with on the streets, or I was supposed to be at war with on the streets, these niggas was fighting on the side of me. You know what I'm saying? And I seen that, and it's a whole different scenario up in that prison system when you fight against Aryan brotherhoods, when you fight against Mexican mafias and shit like that. And I mean, these niggas, they don't play. I mean, so it's like every day your life is on the line. You have to depend on these niggas that you said was your enemy to have your back. You know what I'm saying? So I started looking at, gang members in a different ways, not just Crips, Bloods too, everybody, because it was like a black thing against a Mexican thing against a white thing. We still had our little beefs, but the bigger picture was, I mean, it was a racial thing, So I started seeing people a different way, and I started, not prejudging individuals because where they were from. So, I took time to really get to know a nigga. And I mean, if you're a soldier, no matter where you from. So my mentality got to change about this whole gang thing, whatever, and the things why I went to prison, you know what I'm saying? So as time went on, just say like 15 years into the sentence, 10 years into the sentence, I was saying, man, this shit really ain't working because we ain't solved no problem. Shit's still going on. Niggas still dying, parents still crying. I mean, and we come to prison and we kick it. So what we really fighting for? What we killing niggas, what we killing each other on the streets for when we come to prison and we cope? I mean, them dudes wasn't my enemy. They wasn't my real enemy. That's what prison really showed me, that these cats wasn't really my enemy. It was that mentality that mentality I developed in myself growing up, being from neighborhood, that once I'm at war with a nigga, I'm at war with everybody from your hood. I mean, if I'm at war with their trades, everybody from their trade is my enemy. Whether, I mean, I don't take the time to get to know you or nothing. I mean, if you from this set, automatically it's a dislike for you. You know what I'm saying? And that was the crazy part about it because, I mean, a lot of niggas from A-Trade I grew up with. I mean, and I used to see them on the streets at the height of the war, and we was partners before this. We was friends, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't have no beef with you, you know what I'm saying? You my partner, homie. I mean, we grew up together, you know my folks, I know your folks, and you get passes. Real niggas get passes. So, they gave me a lot of passes. I gave them a lot of passes. It wasn't just like for a lot of niggas, it wasn't just like on site. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I see them niggas and I jump out the car and we start kicking and talking. I mean, how could we fix this, man? This shit is out of hand. And, we causing each other misery. We niggas is dying. And we chop it up like that. But we were still at war, because, I mean, like I say, soldiers are soldiers. I'm going to respect the soldier. I don't care where you from. So, I mean, and that's the way I'm still today, man. I mean, there's a lot of them niggas, that I got animosity and hostility for, but I'm a grown nigga. This 40 years later, so I can put that shit behind me. But I remember the times where we kicked it. I mean, we really kicked it on the streets at the height of the war. I mean, I see like Diamond, you know what I'm saying? Monster Cody, Gangster Brown. I mean, some of these niggas, I would see these niggas on the streets. I would just actually stop and kick it with them and talk to them and shit like that. And that night they might come bust on the homies or something like that. But but that's just the way it was. Some niggas' relationships go farther than this little war shit,
So you never did say how much time you did?
I did 33.
So during
30.
that 33 years, let's say, like you said, the first 15 years, what was going through your mind when you hear a homie got knocked down or somebody you knew from gangster got knocked down?
Really, like I say, after 15, 20 years up in prison, man, and the shit that I went through and was going through, I mean, you really become numb to that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's insensitive to it. I mean, you sit there and the first thing that I would feel was anger. And then sometimes, like when one of them niggas would get knocked down, I would feel like joy, like I got some type of satisfaction, even though I wasn't there. But I mean, for the most part, man, after being in prison, all that time being separated from really people that where you develop real true relationships. I mean, where you it's loyalty, dedication, it's real love, and you up in this prison setting where you just fucking with niggas because I mean you trying to survive. I mean you become like withdrawn, emotionally withdrawn. You don't really feel too much of anything because it's business. You know what I'm saying? And the business is survival. So when I hear that shit, you know, sometimes the gang mentality, because I had it, it was so deeply just infringed in me that when I hear one of the homies get killed or something like that, and this nigga did it, I'd be mad. I'd be mad as a motherfucker, want revenge and retaliation and all that. But once you get to thinking about it and where I'm at and saying, man, I got to go out here and these niggas is here, but I got to depend on these niggas to watch my back, like I got to watch their back. So I mean, you had mixed I had mixed emotions about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to survive whatever I had to do to make it out this prison system. Because I always had it in my mind that one day I'm gonna get out. That's all I have to do is survive. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like I'm saying, after you up in that prison system, man, you become emotionally dull. You know what I'm saying? Insensitive. You know what I'm saying? You don't really feel too. I didn't really feel too much of nothing. You know. So like it was more like it was business as usual. You know.
Right. You talked about the height of the war on the street. How about in prison? With all that CCO stuff going on, was it on with the gangsters or was it? I mean, I know how it go, but can you just tell the viewers like how it went back then?
Like I mean, like it was CCO Blue Notes. I mean, it was it's they basically ran the prison system. You know what I'm saying? As far as black, they had the BGFs and the Vanguards and things. But as far as niggas from Los Angeles, they basically ran the prison system. They basically dictated what type of program you would have. Even though you wasn't officially a member, didn't read the Constitution, anything like that, they still had protocols, rules, and regulations that you had to follow, no matter who you were. I mean, representing this Crip thing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was like they ran the pen, and they ran the pen basically. I mean, like all prison systems, the only way that you can control a gang of unruly gang banging motherfuckers is through fear. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was a lot of shit like even though I wasn't a member, official member, I didn't read no constitution. I wasn't up under no paperwork, anything like that. But these individuals, I mean, when they said do something, I mean they do. You did it because it was at the price of your life. You know what I'm saying? If they told you to do this to your homeboy for whatever reason, you did it because if you didn't do it, then your life was at. You know. Uh,
When I went to the pen, it wasn't at the height of those type of wars any longer. So what I'm trying to ask you though is, was it on site when a gangster hit the yard or a 60 hit the yard?
No, not for the most part, man. Not for the most part. Like it was cool. Like once you left the county jail and came to the prison system, it was a whole different atmosphere. Like on the county jail, it was on site. You know what I'm saying? When you come to the prison system, because we needed each other and we depended on each other, and then they had these structures in there like the CCO and the Blue Note that it wasn't just it was protocol that you had to go through. It just wasn't on site. You know what I'm saying? Even though you had animosity and hostilities with a nigga because of what he was in there for, or what he did, I mean, you would come up with some pretext or something to try to get at him or something, but it was protocol up in that prison system that you had to follow. You just couldn't take off on site. You know what I'm saying? So, even at the height of it. So, I mean, because like I said, we depended on these.
Hold on. Your phone messed up. Hold up. Your phone messed up again after you said something about protocol. That was the last thing I heard you say.
All right. like it was protocol up in the prison system. You know, with any organization, you know, it's going to be rules and regulations that you have to follow. And rules and regulations was like, you know, you just don't get at a nigga because everybody in there, we all in there for something. You know what I'm saying? Some type of gang activity. The vast majority of us was in there for some type of gang activity. And if we just have all the shit from the streets because we got these hostilities and animosity, if it just stayed in the prison system because it's a closed society, I mean, we'll be at war with each other all the time. It wouldn't be no Crip unity or anything up in the prison. So it had to be protocoled and had to be enforced. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was on site. I mean, you still had your hostilities and animosity. You still want to get at these dudes, and these dudes wanted to get at you. But it was certain things that you couldn't do. I mean, it was protocol that you had to follow. All right, so it had to be something you had to do, something out of line to have these dudes come at you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it might be some pretext. They might make some pretext up saying that, well, you bumped into them or you stole something or whatever the reason. I mean, because people create, you know, you get creative when you got hostilities and animosity, but then you get creative about how you want to get at it. And if it's rules and regulations, you're going to find ways to go around them rules and regulations and bend them. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no like, even though we was cool and we was kicking it up in this prison system, it wasn't like you could really actually let your guards down and trust these people. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the prison system because it's, like I say, some of the protocol up in there, you might have to blast your celly. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a trip. It's the whole little prison thing in the war and the friendship, and it's a trip. It's crazy. You know? I mean, you gotta be there. You gotta be there to really understand it.
Yeah, that's all I got for you, man. Unless anything else you want to add.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, good looking out, man. I did keep Stone. Oh, tell Mona if she got any of them pictures left when Stone came. If she still got them pictures when Stone came home and we went up to the park, she took some pictures. If she got a picture of me and No Good, blast it to me.
Is she right there?
And
I'm
tell
gonna
her I
look
said
through my pictures, okay, and then I'll send them to you.
Okay, good looking out, Mona. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I meant to crack a joke while we was doing the interview, but it's too late now. I want to say, I see you got your killers with you.
Yeah, they love him, this dog.
Oh, you see him around there?
Yeah, they all
they was
love
back there wrestling and shit.
I know you can see that, man.
Yeah, it's all good though, man. That was pretty good, man. I'm just trying to put something together for Rick, and what I'm hoping, it may not happen, but what I'm hoping is somebody will see this and want to do like a big documentary, man, or a movie. Shit, they keep trying to get Monster and Mike Conception to get a movie. Why we can't get a movie?
I mean, yeah, you could. They should, man, because especially if you want to get political about it. They should, man, because especially if you want to get political about it. They should, man, because especially if you want to get political about it.
One more word, you go to jail. You got it? You understand me? You've interfered enough. You understand me?
Hey, I ain't done nothing. I ain't touched nobody, so you don't have no reason to touch me.
I am telling you right now.
No
Hook him up. Hook him up. You're under arrest. You're under arrest for interfering.
because that's when they came up with all this crash and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was about the time Ronald Reagan then was coming in there. They was militarizing the police force and all that shit. And what they basically did in the 80s, homie, is they came up with this plan, this long range plan, because they already foreseen building the prison system. They wanted to take all the leadership from all the gangs off the streets. You know what I'm saying? That was gonna keep the peace and keep everything, copacetic. And that's exactly what they did through the 80s. They went through and they arrested all the leadership, and they let these other niggas come up and kept on the rest of it until it got just out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was just gangbangers just going crazy. I mean, it was like it was a real government conspiracy to have this shit blow up so they could build the prison system up to the way it is now. Just looking back on it, you can see the plan and how effective it was and how it really worked. You know what I'm saying? Because during them 80s, man, they put a gang of niggas in jail with life sentence from everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
We can't get a movie. Y'all changed LA.
I mean, yeah. And then you can just see how when niggas went to jail for the next 5-10 years up until the 90s when it started getting crushed, you can see how, the effect that shit had throughout the neighborhoods on the gang shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big picture up in there.
Well, a lot of that's true. I don't like to use the government conspiracy, but some of it you can't deny it. After you guys went to the pen, they dropped guns off all over South Los Angeles, man, in different neighborhoods. And then they came out with the crack, and that's straight from the president and top commanders of the army.
Yeah. But I was just tripping on because when you up in the mix of the jungle, man, you can't see the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? But once you get back and you can just sit back and you can analyze about the changes in your life and how this shit really transpired. I mean, it's not like that they wasn't complicit in the shit that's going on now.
My fellow Americans, I've said on several occasions that I wouldn't comment about the recent congressional hearings on the Iran-Contra matter until the hearings were over.
I mean, everybody know it, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a revelation to me. You know what I'm saying? That this shit was really, it was bigger than what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm gonna let you go, man. Cause we got enough. We did enough. But what I need you to do me one favor.
What's up?
Do that intro again, like Doe Eye, whatever. They used to call me Doe Eye. Your intro over, cause that other one when you was real low and far back and shit.
All right, you go to intro, man. My name is Myron Tobin. I'm from neighborhood Rollin 60s. I used to go by the moniker Doe Eyes back in the days.
All right, good looking out, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna drop this on Tyrone's death date, March 8th.
All right.
All right, homie. Good looking out. Thanks, Mona. I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right.